Outdoors Delmarva covers everything outdoors,
including real hunting and fishing situations involving wildlife.
and we do our best each and every week to keep it tasteful, but discretion is advised.
Now, enjoy the show.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
This week on the show.
An old-timer dropped into Delmarva recently for the Ocean City Air Show, and we just had to meet her. Panchito is the name of this World War II era B-25, and Captain Willie not only got the chance to take a once-in-a-lifetime flight, he took the controls. Plus, why is this young lady running across the entire state of Maryland? Find out as we witness the emotional finish to her epic journey.
A jewel here in Kent County.
And we discover a great day trip destination at Abbott's Mill Pond in Delaware.
Right now on Outdoors Delmarva.
I think that's a nice.
Oh, healthy red. Beautiful.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. And now here's Captain Willie Dykes.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Captain Willie Dykes. We'll be checking in with my partner Andrew Talls in just a few minutes. You know, when the Ocean City Air Show comes to town, you're in for something special. You get to be familiar with the visiting aircraft after a while, and the folks that keep them flying become just like old friends. Now, at this year's show, we got a chance to catch up with one of our old friends from Georgetown, Delaware. It's never business as usual at the Ocean City Airport whenever the air show is in town. Now, you can keep your jets and fancy helicopters, because today I'm just waiting on an old friend, and I expect her to be dropping in at any moment. There she is, right on time. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Panchito, a North American B-25 bomber that served in World War II, one of only about 45 still flying today. And what better way to go out and say hello than in our brand new Jeep? Now Larry Kelly owns this magnificent old warbird, and he's going to tell us a little about her.
The original Panchito was a B-25J assigned to Don Seiler after he had came back from his first combat tour down in the Central Pacific. And he saw the Disney movie, The Three Caballeros, and he knew what he was going to paint on his airplane in. Karaoke Joe, Donald Duck, and Panchito were the three characters. So the original Panchito is in a ditch or a ravine somewhere buried at Clark Field in the Philippines. This airplane was built in October 1944, this airframe, and it was used in the Southeast Training Command in this country. Tom Riley bought the airplane, and then he spent almost 9 years with he and his professional crew completely rebuilding the airplane back to its original configuration. And it's been flying ever since 1986.
We first met Panchito back in 2009 when Chopper Chuck and I got some great footage of this beautiful aircraft in action. So today's flight will be a welcome reunion.
Let's load them up.
Here we go. There is nothing, and I mean nothing, like the sound of those big old Pratts when they fire up. It's a tight fit in these old bombers, and I'll be joined by our buddy Randy Scott from Froggy 99. His grandfather was part of a bomber crew during the war, and now he gets to experience it for himself. And before you know it, we're heading out over the beach on a beautiful afternoon. Now we'll head north up the beach for a bit before making our return, and that's when I get a surprise. Larry Kelly asked me if I want to take the controls, and I'm not going to give him the chance to change his mind.
Okay, climb to the left, dive to the right. Yep. You got it. And steep turns. If you're not on that, it will take you forward. I would imagine, yeah. Let's hit on that. Okay, hold on. Stay clear left. I'll put a little nose down there. Looks good, Will. Do you want to do any filming up in the bombardier's nose?
Now Chuck gets a chance to go up to the nose, and it's as tight a fit today as it was for the bomber crews 2 generations ago. You have to lie on your back and shimmy head first using these 2 poles. But the view is well worth it. This is how many young servicemen, most of whom had probably never even crossed the county line back home, saw Europe and the Pacific back in the 1940s. It must have seemed an amazing adventure. These days, Panchito's main mission is to serve our disabled American veterans. Her crew has been working with the DAV as part of their aviation outreach program to help veterans get the benefits they've earned. And today's perfect flight concludes with a perfect landing from co-pilot Calvin Peacock.
I mean, this was an incredible experience, just to be airborne and to have my grandfather be a tail gunner on this very machine in World War II. Just starting to get emotional now thinking about it, but it was incredible.
There's some people out there that say, well, these old icons, we need to retire them and put them in museums. I said, well, everybody's entitled to their thoughts, but when I go to the National Zoo and I go to the lion pen, I don't want to see a stuffed lion. I want to hear that lion roar, and I want to see the life of it, because it's not the same sitting cold in a museum.
You bet.
Yeah. So we're going to keep them flying as long as we can, because there was an awful lot of young men that paid the ultimate sacrifice in these airplanes.
You put it just right. This old bird still roars.
It's still doing its job for the veterans that it did back in the 40s. It's still doing it today.
Great. Larry, thanks again for the ride.
Thank you, Will. Appreciate you going with us.
Get outdoors, Delmarva!
Coming up next, find out why one young lady decided to run all the way across the great state of Maryland.
But first, did you know? The B-25 Mitchell bomber gained fame as the aircraft that was used for the Doolittle raid, which took off from the deck of the carrier USS Hornet and bombed Japan on April 18, 1942. How many B-25s took part in that raid? Was it A, 16, B, 20, or C, 25 aircraft? The answer when we come back.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru, higher standards. Sponsored by Shorts Marine, North Bay Marina, and your local York dealers. Outdoors Delmarva will be right back.